Hello, everyone, and welcome to Frontier Opening Bell. This is how we're getting Wednesday, the third trading day of the week, started here on Frontier Africa Reports. I am Bosin Namafai. Thanks for coming through. Okay, so let's give you a very quick review of some of the African securities exchanges trading day for the second day, which was Tuesday. The Nigerian market fell slightly yesterday, 0.23%, as we saw the shares of Nestle, MTN, and a few other big names in the negative territory. And investors are still digesting some of the earnings that are coming through from bank and non-bank in the Nigeria space. Nigerian Bureau shares also fell yesterday on the back of that very robust earnings that the brewing giant delivered. The earnings for payments for dividends declared for 2021, that the season is just a few months around the corner, so investors are buying into that ahead of those multi-billion cash dividends to shareholders. The BRVM fell 1.46% on Tuesday. The EGX, the Egyptian market, fell 2.84%, in line with the rest of the advanced and emerging markets. The Nairobi Bus fell 1.19%. The shares of Safaricom went up, but that was offset by a few other names in banking and non-bank listed companies. Then, of course, you have the GSE down by 1.21%. The financials, the industrials, and the resources, three main indices on the GSE, also fell on Tuesday. That's a whole lot of investors' negative soft sentiment around the Ukraine and Russia military operation still going on, brought about by Russian invasion of Ukraine 2 weeks ago. Okay, let's get some news for you into the box for today from the East African community, where Moderna is planning its first vaccine facility on the African continent, and it will be based in Kenya. Meantime, the country's FX reserves went down 24.7 billion shillings on those repayments to TDB by the Kenyatta's administration, while Tanzania and Uganda says they have a new deal on the table to raise the volume of cargo between the two neighbors in East Africa. Ethiopian Airlines is continuing to ramp up on the strength of its cargo business. So it's bought new freighters, 5 of them, Boeing 778. And Fitch Ratings Agency says Mozambique's central bank is likely to hold interest rates unchanged steady for this year at 13.25%. I'm stepping into West Africa, where the world of oil is roiling right now. Yesterday, U.S. President Joe Biden announced plans by Washington to stop subsidizing the Russian war in the Ukraine by stopping the import of oil and gas from Russia. The Deputy Prime Minister for Russia, Alexander Novak, says it's going to be a terrible mistake. He's looking at oil prices at $300 per barrel if the West bans Russian oil import. UK has moved in the same direction. A few others, Germany, France, and others, are considering their own steps towards that. In the meantime, the head of OPEC, Mohammed Bakindo, says the oil industry is under siege and OPEC is technically helpless on that front. So oil prices at $130 a barrel yesterday. That softened a little bit to $129.38 for London Brent early today. Airtel Africa has paid up on its global senior notes, which was about $500 million ahead of the maturity date of March 2023. And Presco is one of the largest agro-allied companies listed on Nigerian Exchange Group. Now is planning to put 21 billion naira on the table in cash to buy another company in the agri space, that by the name Siat Nigeria. And Ghana's Eurobond is now priced at, it's reached the yield is at about a 10-year high of 15.78%. That came through on Monday. Well, Badia disburses 45 billion CFA franc for Senegal's infrastructure. Badia is the infrastructure and development investment DFI in the ECOWAS sub-region. Okay, where are we in South Africa? Yes, very robust, 4.9% GDP growth reported yesterday by the Statistics Office. After shrinking 6.4%, South Africa came back roaring despite the pandemic and those restrictions around it. However, the figure could have touched 5% in terms of GDP growth, but the violence and looting and rioting that happened in the month of July around the Gauteng and the KwaZulu-Natal region moderated the GDP numbers to about 4.9%. That's according to news coming through from South Africa on Tuesday. Women in South Africa's financial services network, the new network, was announced yesterday to put all the women together within South Africa's financial services on a single network to promote their well-being and pay, work, and everything. Zimbabwe's PGM, that's Mimosa Mining, says it's investing $40 million as capital expenditure in the current year. And Angola is looking to become the world's second largest diamond producer by the year 2030. Botswana is looking next door. Angola is currently Africa's second largest oil producer, by the way, in case you don't know. But let's just move on to North Africa, by the way. So let's take it up all the way north, where Egypt is looking at $150 billion to finance its green energy projects. Egypt, as you already know, is hosting the COP27 summit. The first time on the African continent is coming through in the month of June. In the meantime, Allianz in Egypt is renewing its 3-year partnership deal with UNICEF, that's the United Nations Children Education Fund. And they got Egypt and Saudi says their trade exchange is worth about 34%, went up 35% to about $4.3 billion in 2021, reporting in there, where Morocco, Katia, is a furniture company set up about 2012, very big name on the Moroccan market. Now it's bought majority stake in a company called Furniture Palace based in Kenya. So this is a handshake across the Sahel from Morocco to Kenya. And that is your Frontier opening bell this Wednesday. Have a great day, everyone. Have a profitable trading day, and I'll see you next time. I am Bosin. If I go on our YouTube, Frontier Africa Reports, to watch this show, and as well as other shows on energy, Nigerian markets, and others, as well as other videos, so you can read up our stories as well as videos as well, special reports at www.frontierafricareports.com. We're also on social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, as well as Twitter. See you next time.